Kilkenny a few weeks ago. But the question was, could they repeat that kind of performance where it mattered most, in the Championship? Well, let's find out. The commentator for this one is Ger Canning, and he's joined once again by Jimmy Barry Murphy.
Where once these counties dominated Leinster final day, it's all of 12 years since they met in the final. Indeed, in the 1970s, they met in every decider. John Henderson, Kilkenny's fullback, is now the only link with that memorable decade. He joins a side showing two changes from the team that faced Wexford in this year's league semi-final. That's the introduction of Championship newcomer Pat O'Neill at left half forward in place of Liam Fennelly. But the news about Christy Heffernan is bad. He's forced out of the Championship through injury for the second year in succession, and Mick Dunn is his replacement. Wexford are pleased to announce a virtually unchanged 15 following their hard-earned win over Laois last month. Injury worries about Martin Storey and John O'Connor have eased somewhat, and they both line up in attack, alongside Tom Dempsey, dropped for that first-round game, although he did come in during the second half. Well, a keenly awaited duel is the meeting of All-Star Liam Dunn, Wexford centre-half back, and Kilkenny's experienced Richie Power, a link with the last Kilkenny team to win the Leinster crown 4 years ago. So in bright sunshine, this 28th semi-final involving these neighbouring counties gets underway, and it's Martin Storey with Wexford, who played from left to right in the first half. Larry O'Gorman over there challenging with John Parr. Richie Parr, his namesake, through the middle to Mick Dunn, former under-21 star. Watched all the way. Good-looking move, and it's just gone wide. That was Pat O'Neill with the first attempt for a point for Kilkenny, just outside. John Henderson comes back here to Tom Dempsey, looking for the first point of the match. Tom Dempsey, the scorer, nicely taken. A moment of intuitive skill, turned excellently on his left-hand side to slot it over after 3 minutes. Michael Welsh, son of the manager Ollie. George O'Connor. O'Neill was going in on that one. Phelan dropping it in towards Mick Dunn. He's easily beaten by the man of the match the last day against Laois, Ger Kosh. Outside to Paul Bridges, closed down by Eamon Morrissey. Still found enough space to get it out. Headed to further over there by Billy Byrne. Ooh, and a heavy challenge coming in, which the referee quite correctly penalised by John O'Connor. It's going to be a free to Kilkenny. DJ Carey, handball star as well as a star hurler. 65 metres out, he's fired in the opening point for Kilkenny, his first of the afternoon. The young Ireland star from Gowran in County Kilkenny. Point apiece. O'Connor losing the helmet, losing possession as well, but there's assistance there from Billy Byrne. Up towards Jimmy Houlihan, trying to get the measure of John Henderson. Breaking out here to Liam Welsh on his left-hand side, hurling it away. And it's George O'Connor going across there. Cross towards his brother John's wing. Dermot Prendergast is there as well, breaks it down. Liam Welsh nipping in. John O'Connor coming on his blind side. Stalemate momentarily. Tom Dempsey trying to get it up onto a stick, likewise Jimmy Houlihan. Bill Hennessy, the number 2 in the green helmet. Jimmy taking a trip. Jimmy Houlihan will take the free himself. He makes no mistake. Jimmy was the leading scorer in the league, which just ended with defeat, of course, at the hands of Offaly. Richie Power just breaking that one down sufficiently for Michael Phelan to come on to. George O'Connor getting his body in the way, doing well just to hold up the stem of the Kilkenny attack momentarily. Phelan again. Pat Ryan calling for John Power likewise. It's with Power. Blocked down by Billy Byrne. Ryan's available just on his right-hand side, but he has the confidence and composure to try and hit a shot himself, but he was hooked by Eamon Sinnott. And George O'Connor outside towards Billy Byrne, nothing very stylish or classical about the hurling so far in the match, which is just 9 minutes old. 2 points to 1, Wexford leading. Martin Storey, so often in the past he's pulled himself a match winner as it goes by Tommy Fogarty's his cover. And he's got his first this afternoon. The man from Ullart, Kavala, has put 2 points between the teams. A lovely bit of striking, great action from Martin Storey, finishing decisively as always.
Very good score here by Wexford. Jimmy Hurling gathered a good ball, spotted Martin Storey loose outside him and played a good ball to him in space. And Martin Storey, as we've seen recently, is a very exciting player with a great burst of space, a great point of speed, and when he plays well, Wexford do well usually.
They're doing well just now, Jimmy, as you watch John O'Connor take the pass from Sinnott. Oh, it's got it off the goalkeeper's stick, still in play, a great save. Well, John O'Connor was going for glory that time. Very much a goal in his mind. It may come yet from Houlihan. He's driven it outside and wide. Well, the ball reached John O'Connor in space. He steadied himself, but Michael Walsh produced a great save.
John O'Connor just racing into a very good position here. Tremendous chance of a goal at an early stage of the game, and Michael Walsh makes a fantastic save and knocks it out to his left-hand side. Very good save by Michael Walsh.
Richie Parr. The Kilkenny side not yet finding its stride. Only 1 point for them so far. That from a free from DJ Carey, and they have another free right now. The breeze, of course, is favouring Kilkenny in the first half. DJ Carey is Kilkenny's only scorer so far, and he keeps them in touch with another expertly hit point from a free. So 2 points then for DJ, 3 points to 2.
He's a beautiful striker of the ball, DJ Carey, and I think today Kilkenny certainly will be looking to both himself and Eamon Morrissey in the absence of Christy Heffernan for their scores, and those two players could have a very big impact for Kilkenny.
We're talking about that league semi-final replay in Perlis where Wexford beat Kilkenny. Of course, DJ missed that match because of an injury. The decision goes with Kilkenny. Liam Welch's sideline cut. Added to by Parr. To Eamon Morrissey. Can he provide the leadership this afternoon? Stopped by Ted Morrissey. Out only as far as Richie Parr. He was hooked brilliantly by Liam Dunn. Dunn got in the intervention that time, as Kilkenny were lining themselves up with a scoring chance. Pat Dwyer, another one of those injury doubts before this match with a thumb injury. Blocked. John O'Connor making life difficult over there. It comes back to Billy Byrne. Doing a very good day's work in midfield so far as that's touched down. But one of the defenders down as far as Tom Dempsey is still going through. Sinnott is up alongside him. They were all queuing up, and at the end it's Michael Welch, it's a splendid save. Out to Storey, it's gone over the bar. What great goalkeeper preventing a certain goal that time for Wexford by Michael Welch. It comes out to Storey, his second point of the day. The goalkeeper is down injured following the heroics, but they were queuing up that time, and he really fired his head in there where you wouldn't exactly put the boot.
Well, there's a great chance here again for Wexford. They've had 2 chances of goals in the first half, and Eamon Sinnott knocks it across here, just falls behind, and Jimmy Houlihan running in. Tries to connect with it, but very, very courageous defence by Michael Walsh, and a tremendous save on that occasion, and luckily for Wexford, the rebound was put straight over the bar for an important point for them. But tremendous guts shown by Michael Walsh there in a very difficult situation.
And over on the far side there's another injury, and it's Liam Welch who's being attended to. Didn't see what happened to Liam Welch. Adrian Ronan is the player who's come in. He can play in the forwards, he can play in goal. He's going to have to take over the #1 spot. All this while Liam Welch is off the field as well, and Kilkenny are being forced into making a second change, a second substitution, as Eddie O'Connor comes in, another Glenmore man. And so 2 of the 3 Kilkenny options now being used up. Adrian Ronan with the puck out, play held up for a good 3 minutes. A perilous situation then for Kilkenny as they ring the changes. And it's John Parr looking for another score. He's got it, has he? No, he's just put it wide. They were holding their breaths. It was a great run forward by Parr. He was aiming it for the far corner.
Well, it was a great burst in here by John Power, and I think it would have been the lift Kilkenny needed after the hammer blows of those two substitutions. But it shaves the goalpost, a tremendous effort, and I think he was very unlucky just there.
As Michael Welch very sadly leaves the match. Billy Byrne lobbing it forward to Jimmy Houlihan. A hand injury picked up by Jimmy. This time the referee blows the whistle. If it's not the hand, it's the head. And John Henderson, the player who went in that time to tackle Jimmy Houlihan. And the notebook coming out. Henderson claiming there was no contact. It was a fair challenge for possession. I seem to recall he was booked also the day the sides played here in the league semi-final, the drawn match. Ollie Welch just went in there for a second to vent his feelings to the official. Remember, it's 4 points to 2. Houlihan puts it over. A second pointed free by Jimmy Houlihan. Adrian Ronan. 19 minutes gone. 3 between them. Wexford the leaders. And George O'Connor the master in midfield. Towards John O'Connor, his brother. Dermot Prendergast gleefully taking that break of the ball. Back goes Eddie O'Connor. So from their first choice 15, Michael Welch has gone, Liam Welch has gone, Christy Heffernan has gone, and of course Liam Fennelly wasn't able to start. That is quite a handicap to have to start with, Jimmy.
It is indeed. Any team that suffers those kind of blows, it's very hard to come back from, and they're going to struggle. They were struggling even before the injuries, but Wexford have started with great zest and great power in their play, and they're going to be very hard to beat today, I think.
Houlihan takes it easily. Back towards George O'Connor. Held the hurley nice and short, snapped it over the bar. George's first point, and this a golden spell for Wexford. Story putting his hands full here against Tommy Fogarty, well aware of the threat he possesses. Likewise Tom Dempsey against Liam Simpson. Simpson making the block, now having to work to get there ahead of Jimmy Houlihan. Out to Fogarty. Lifting the siege for Kilkenny, down towards John Power. Hurley's breaking. The break of the ball for Eamon Morrissey. The shot from a good 45 metres out. A good point by Morrissey. Well, he scored a goal here in the drawn league semi-final and won 4 in the replay, and now off the mark after 24 minutes of this first half. That's Kilkenny's first score from play, and it's taken 23.5 minutes really to produce. Billy Byrne firing it in towards Jimmy Houlihan, hands raised. John Henderson standing his ground, out towards Prendergast. John O'Connor doing well, not showing any effect of a groin injury that he's carried into this game. Billy Byrne shot is blocked down by Liam Simpson. 2 Kilkenny cornerbacks are related. Tom Dempsey firing it in despite the attention of Bill Hennessy. A nice point indeed. Dempsey's second. So it's a very good performance so far by Kilkenny, by Wexford, taking their chances and now opening up a 4-point gap.
Good play again there, Jared, by Billy Byrne. He spotted the man outside him who was loose, and Tom Dempsey has really come back to form today and struck an excellent point from a most difficult angle, and they're very good scores by Wexford in this first half.
Larry O'Gorman, magnificent, takes it with the left hand, trying to make headway. He really has taken his chance since coming in here as a sub against Kilkenny in the drawn league semi-final. And that's Eddie O'Connor taking his chance now, having come on as a sub for Liam Welch. Niall MacDonald trying to nurse it out of the danger area. Liam Dunn very much in the thick of the action as always. And George O'Connor never too far away from the ball. Martin Storey against Fogarty. The loose man is Sinnott. Dwyer rather slow to close him down. Fisticuffs breaking out away off the ball. It's now ended, thankfully. O'Connor. Phelan, nicely taken. Kane gathered. MacDonald. Billy Byrne. Up towards Houlihan, stopped. Simpson coming and taking it with style. Down to Phelan. from 65 metres out from his own goal. Will it go over? It's a magnificent score. An inspirational point by Michael Phelan of Glenmore, the captain for the day, now operating on the centre-half forward position, but he was only 65 metres from his own goal when he hit that one. Well, for all Wexford's mastery, there's only a goal in it. Billy Byrne snapping that one forward into the space. O'Connor is going back. O'Connor now playing at right corner back in a switch with Bill Hennessy. He stepped out over his own end line. It's going to be a 65. The umpire has his hand raised. The referee hasn't noted it yet. They will play away. Referee has now seen it, and it's going to be a 65 for Wexford. It's going to be taken by Jimmy Houlihan, who scored a goal and 10 points in the opening championship match against Laois. This is his third this afternoon. Dead aim Jimmy. And Kilkenny, I know, will have missed their great goalkeeper Michael Welch. Ronan doing well since he came in, but they'll also be thankful for those two super saves that Michael Welch made to really keep them in the hunt. Dempsey took it beautifully, shielded his body with the hurley, went down low to pick it up. Great skill. Outside to John O'Connor, wrestling to get inside there with Eddie O'Connor. One O'Connor against another. The Wexford man has given it away to Liam Simpson. Down to Phelan, stopped by Liam Dunn. One of the stars so far, likewise George O'Connor, elegantly tapping it outside to Martin Storey, turning in to his favourite position inside the man. But he's settled himself up now. Such a good pass. Tom Dempsey trying to nurse it back to Sean Flood, nicely taken up by Richie Parr. Liam Dunn gathering superbly. He's played his heart out at half-back. It's not just a case of being in the right position at the right time, Jimmy, but the positioning of Liam Dunn, he covers right across as a sweeper. Exactly, he's an ideal centre-back. Not alone is he playing his own position, but he's covering off behind his own wing-backs, and Kilkenny certainly haven't made any impact on him at all, the decision. He's dominating the game entirely from centre-back, and he's setting up an awful lot of attacks for Wexford. Fogarty cutting it in, a minute and a half left on our watch, but the referee may well add, I think, up to 2 or 3 minutes for the injury, which necessitated a sub coming on for Michael Welch. Richie Parr, easily cut out by Sean Flood. Sinnott met it. Dempsey coming back, tackled high by Richie Parr. No question about the free. So Jimmy Houlihan with this free, dropping it in towards John O'Connor. It breaks down. Tommy Fogarty waiting, seeing that nobody was coming for it, hit it out. As far as Billy Byrne, raiding on that left-hand side. Tapping it across, out by Pat Dwyer. Martin Storey took up a good position on the left-hand side, firing it in. Sinnott! It's a goal! Sinnott, the goal scorer, but the referee is going in for a quick consultation, and he's ruling it. He hasn't made up his mind yet. He's having a quick consultation with the umpires to see was there a square ball there. They wait and express their joy and their tension, and it looks to be a free out, and they're going to cross their flags. Well, Sinnott was in there, so too was John O'Connor. I think Sinnott might well have been the one who touched it last. Another let off then in injury time for Kilkenny. It certainly let off at this stage. There would have been a sickening blow for Kilkenny if this goal had been allowed. Here you can see, I think it's Martin Storey gathering the ball, turning inside the Kilkenny defenders. And as he does so, he turns onto his left hand and he strikes the ball across the goal, but doesn't hit it that well, and it lands on the edge of the square. And Eamon sent it overhead flick, but he's inside the square, just about 2 feet inside the square, and I think the umpires are right to disallow the goal. Bargard just checking his watch. Richie Parr missed it. Should have held it. Phelan. The rain that's come down midway through this first half has certainly affected the conditions for the players, as DJ Carey, a potential match winner, sells a dummy on MacDonald. Oh, a good shot, and it's saved. The goal! A goal! Precisely what the game has required. John Power coming in, following that save by Ted Morrissey. A after DJ Carey made all the running. So a goal 2 minutes into injury time has now put a much changed complexion on this match.
Yeah, it's amazing how games can change. Wexford have a goal to start, and here you see DJ Carey racing in long lane line. Great save by Tom Dempsey, with John Power just the perfect position for a right half forward, knocks it into the net. Tremendous goal and good anticipation by Power after outstanding play by DJ Carey.
The referee allowed 3 minutes and 20 seconds of injury time for the injury to Michael Welsh. And try as they might, Martin Quigley's side huffed and puffed, but they could simply not blow down this side created by Ollie Welsh. And that goal by John Parr, 2 minutes into injury time, has changed it completely. There's now just a point separating the teams as they run in at half-time. The half-time score showing Wexford ahead by 8 points to 1-4.
Well, that goal just before half-time by Kilkenny was a tremendous boost and badly needed, because they've struggled all through the first half, and they'll need to make an impact early in the game here if they're to have any chance of beating Wexford, because the breeze is quite significant, and Wexford hurled with great zest and great appetite and could even have gone in further ahead at half-time.
As Morrissey sets Kilkenny on their way, it's beaten up, however, by Larry O'Gorman. Richie Power operating in midfield now. Now Mick Dunn, first chance to shine in this game, really. Ted Morrissey's come out of his goal bravely, but he needed support, and he got it there from Paul Bridges.
I think it would be important for Kilkenny if they get a few points in this opening half, and that was certainly a chance for Mick Dunn there. If he could have taken his point, level the scores and given Kilkenny another boost straight into the second half. They're the kind of chance they need to take if they're to win this game.
Pat Ryan, stopped by Liam Dunn, gleefully takes it back off the stick there of Paul Bridges. Dermot Prendergast once again showing his great talent for being able to go and bring players into the game and take possession and set up opportunities. On this occasion fouled by Bill Hennessy, and Jimmy Houlihan is coming way out of his full forward position to take the free, obviously fancying his chance at putting it straight over the bar.
Well, Charlie got an excellent one in the first half from a long distance, but it seems an awful journey to bring him out, and it takes him quite a while to get back in and recover after such a long run.
That looks good. It was well worthwhile. His faith was well justified. 4 points for the afternoon. And the trusty Jimmy Houlihan then from Rathnewer, the county champions down there in Wexford. 2 points between the teams. Adrian Ronan, the substitute goalkeeper. Pat Ryan sees that one break down to Eamon Morrissey. Across towards Pat O'Neill's wing. Star minor a couple of years ago, and under 21 fullback last year, now operating up in the forwards, and it's going wide in any case.
Kilkenny need to bring Morrissey and DJ Carey into the game, and they need all those chances badly.
Pat Ryan, George O'Connor battling, nicely taken by Billy Byrne. That's well directed. A lovely point. Wexford's 10th, Kilkenny 1-4. And Billy Byrne getting in the scoring act now alongside George O'Connor, the two midfielders having scored this afternoon. Quality of hurling from time to time is particularly poor, but it's a spirited game nonetheless. And there's not much between them as DJ races forward. Is he going for goal? Stopped by Adrian Ronan, by Ted Morrissey, I should say. Swept out of there by Paul Bridges, and the referee has raced in, and they fight inside. Angry exchanges here now between John Parr and Liam Dunn, really shaping up to one another. Meanwhile, the referee went in to just intervene inside in the large rectangle after Ted Morrissey made the save. The news from the wounded from the first half is that Liam Welch has broken ribs, and Michael Welch, the goalkeeper, has gone to hospital for a treatment to a facial injury. The linesman thinks he may have seen what happened there. He's gone in to have a word with Pat Delaney also. DJ's back on his feet, and Ger Henderson, one of the selectors there, watching.
Well, brilliant play here by DJ Carey. Races inside the Wexford defence, and he looks odds on to score. I thought he was going to shoot here first, but he delays his shot, goes in further again, and he's just about to strike it here. The Wexford defence have got back quite well. He's hooked brilliantly by the defender there. Ball breaks loose, and DJ Carey tries to knock it across the line with his hurley from the ground here. But It's very hard to see whether it was a free in from that angle, and unless the free was given later. Here you have the defender trying to clear the ball, and Mick Dunn comes in, and it's saved on the line by Ger Cush and cleared out by Paul Bridges.
And the outcome is a penalty. There are just 3 points between them, but it's early stages in the second half, only 10 minutes gone. DJ. He's put it high, and he's put it over the bar. He's content with his point, his third this afternoon. Morrissey's puck out. Pat Ryan under the dropping ball. So too, Dermot Prendergast. Inside towards Eamon Sinnott. Closed down by Pat Dwyer, but manages to spring free. Bill Hennessy going back. Bill was involved in a switch a few minutes ago, but he now seems to have gone back into his corner back position as that ball went off the defender. A 65 is the outcome. Being there, the physio who looks after the Wexford teams, and quickly to attend to him. Donald had that very impressive first half with the leg injury. Watches as Jimmy Houlihan takes the 65, and that is nicely dropping inside the left-hand post for a 5th point of the afternoon. Pat Dwyer now right half back, dropping it forward towards Pat O'Neill, who's moved in towards full forward, it seems, against Ger Cush. Kilkenny restructuring their full forward line, and Mick Dunn has now gone top of the left, with Pat O'Neill now playing at full forward.
I think Kilkenny are also bringing DJ Carey out left half forward, trying to read him into the game a bit. He's not getting a lot of the ball in the corner, and obviously he's a player that they think can get scores, and they need to get more of the ball.
Martin Storey. Nicely dropped in, taken by Adrian Ronan. The baseball cap being used to keep a little bit of sunlight from his eyes. Judged expertly by Larry O'Gorman. Takes the tumble as he comes over the legs that time of Pat Ryan from Emeralds in County Kilkenny. Kilkenny's number 22 is just on his way in, and that is Liam McCarthy, who played in the 1987 All-Ireland final against Galway at corner forward. And that's Kilkenny's final substitution, and the man who's going off is the man who came in for Big Christie, Mick Dunn, who didn't have a profitable afternoon. Houlihan in towards John O'Connor, trying to nurse it. Comes out to Pat Ryan for Kilkenny, who've shown great spirit, helped by that goal, of course, but the loss of some vital players in the first half, upsetting their momentum. O'Connor, Pat Dwyer. It's a much restructured Kilkenny team just now. They were team building all over the past 5 or 6 weeks, just trying to get the blend right, and they've had to do an awful lot of reblending this afternoon, and they finally got the chemistry right. Henderson almost leaving it behind. In fact, he's left it behind to Tom Dempsey, and Sinnott was probing as well. Tom Dempsey, jersey pulled, challenged over there by Liam Simpson. In it comes, stopped, and that's Bill Hennessy dropping it out as far as Pat Ryan for Kilkenny again. Stopped in the centre of the field by Billy Byrne of Wexford. Wexford leading the scores badly, and Billy Byrne is supplying this one his 2nd point of the match. Billy Byrne, and every present member of the Wexford team over the past 8 years, has given them a little bit more of a lead. Well, Jimmy, there seems to have been 3 points between them for a mighty long time.
It does indeed. Wexford just can't seem to get that insurance point to give them a bit of breathing space and a bit of confidence, and Kilkenny are still well in the game if they can poach a score or two.
Richie Parr up towards DJ Carey, stopped, and it's Sean Flood who comes out there from right half back, driving it downfield towards Jimmy Houlihan, who'll come about 45 minutes from the Wexford goal, beaten by John Henderson. Up it goes here, stopped by Larry O'Gorman against Pat Ryan. Larry O'Gorman still looking over his right shoulder, making sure he wasn't hooping. Left it behind in any case to John Parr, getting inside the cover of Billy Byrne, up trying to link up with Eamon Morrissey, star of the league final against Wexford last year. Taking the return ball inside from Michael Phelan, still Morrissey going forward, stopped. Finally it's George O'Connor who whips it in over the near sideline, and it's going to be a sideline ball for Kilkenny. Phelan cuts it in towards Liam McCarthy. An appropriate name for a hurler as they seek to bring back the Liam McCarthy Cup for the first time since 1983. And he's got his point. There's now just a margin of 2 between the teams as the substitute fires that one over convincingly. So now it's all down to the last few minutes as Ted Morrissey pucks this one out, the team captain, towards George O'Connor. Can they get the measure of their great rivals as Billy Byrne tries one from way out the field? I'm sure Jimmy Houlihan would have appreciated a ball lobbed in towards the full forward position, but instead Byrne went for that long-range point which just didn't come off. Nicely held over there, once again by George O'Connor. Tommy Fogarty going back, the left half back, looking for a piece of assistance, getting it from a very useful substitute, Eddie O'Connor. He's come in and he's played really well. Displayed great heart and commitment. Eamon Morrissey trying to come across and take that one away from Ger Kosh, succeeded, and now there is just the minimum in it with 5 minutes to go. Morrissey came across, took that one beautifully to record his own second point of the game, and it is now very delicately poised.
Great score there by Eamon Morrissey, after tremendous work again by Eddie O'Connor, which has been a feature of this game. The Kilkenny substitutes have been outstanding. Adrian Rowan, Eddie O'Connor and Liam McCarthy, they've all done very well since they came in.
And Ollie Welch living on his nerves right now, but will be very pleased if they can come out of this match with even a draw. Tom Dempsey has once again spurned possession and failed to convert it into a score. Wexford 11 wides in all. Kilkenny more economical, just 7. A pile-up here waiting for possession. Morrissey one of them. Finally it's Billy Byrne who hooks it out. The side now just leading by a solitary point. Wexford have been leading the way very much from the beginning of this game. Are they now to be denied their victory? John Conran trying to steady himself. This is Liam Simpson. Outside towards Tommy Fogarty. There's a player loose just ahead of him, that's Richie Power. George O'Connor and Richie Power have met in many a battle in the past. Good sporting rivals. Bill Hennessy. Liam McCarthy. Away with Niall MacDonald. Trying to engineer the equalising score. He's engineered a free. It'll be DJ Carey who will go across to take the free for Kilkenny. This is a good 44 metres out. He's got it! He's put it over the bar and the sides are level. A 5th pointed free by the youngster DJ Carey, an emerging star in the world of hurling. On my watch, 2 minutes to go. Well, Kilkenny surely will get renewed heart from their last couple of scores. Wexford haven't been able to put them away so far. As Seamus Fitzhenry, the substitute, puts it over the bar, and Wexford have replied instantly. Fitzhenry, perhaps better known as a footballer than a hurler. Indeed, his 7 brothers on the Duffrey Rovers team have between them 32 county football medals. But will he get himself a Leinster senior medal this year in hurling? There's just over a minute remaining. Bill Hennessy coming forward. Dropping it up towards Liam McCarthy, possession vital here. McCarthy there in the race for possession against Niall MacDonald. Across the face of the goal. And Paul Bridges gleefully watches that one go wide.
So that was a ball that he had to keep in play there. Wexford Kilkenny just couldn't afford to put the ball wide, and even if Liam McCarthy had turned inside and taken the defender on, or pulled the ball back across 21, the last thing they needed was a wide ball.
Everybody watching, everybody waiting. Just 35 seconds to go on my watch. Perhaps another few seconds to be added on for injuries. Wexford just ahead. Liam Simpson going back there for Ollie Welch's team. Is this to be a famous victory for the side managed by Martin Quigley? That's John Conran, dropped in delightfully, stopped however once again by Liam Simpson despite the attention of Eamon Sinnott. We've got 10 seconds to go before we go into injury time. Sinnott couldn't hold it, it's gone wide. Kilkenny will have possession from the puck out, but they're in a real race against time now as we're into injury time. The amateur whistlers, I would suggest most of them from County Wexford, encouraging the referee to blow time. That's brilliantly taken by the great-hearted Billy Byrne, up towards John Conran. Some of the great experienced players. Story wanted to hold on to that one just to try and seal this game. Instead it's Eddie O'Connor for Kilkenny. Up towards Liam McCarthy. Can they yet get the chance? And it's with DJ Carey racing through. Can he seal it for them? Still DJ Carey kicking. Oh, it's gonna go! It's gonna go! And Kilkenny are in front. DJ Carey. The Kilkenny bench, the Kilkenny fans dancing with joy. It's another Kilkenny goal. A second of the match, which has come a minute into injury time. Wexford are already on their way to the final, but this lady has watched her team come back from the dead. DJ levelled it, and now DJ has put them in front.
Well, Jerry, you can't beat class, and class players usually come to the front when their team badly needs them. And DJ Carey races right through here. Defenders racing in them on all angles, sells a dummy to Jerk Push, and when he knew he would be hooked, kicks the ball beautifully. Tremendous effort by Ted Morrissey, but DJ Carey, what a fantastic goal and what a vital time to get it.
We're now 2:20 played in terms of injury time, and there can't be much left. And Liam Fennelly, or Bill Hennessy I should say, one of those celebrating in the centre of the field. It's all over, and it's Kilkenny who won a dramatic match, coming from the dead. Ollie Welch's team were out of it. It was DJ's day. He gets the goal that wins it, and in the end it's Kilkenny who win by a margin of 2 points. It's 2-9 for Kilkenny, 13 points for a disappointed Wexford.
Yeah, we should have won it. We had him on the rack there for a long time, but when you don't have the scores up on the scoreboard, you're in trouble. But words wouldn't really describe now how I feel at the moment. Very disappointed, but we'll rise again, hopefully again next year.
We were psyched up for Offaly. We said to ourselves if we bet Wexford that Offaly would be twice as hard. Now we have Dublin, so we should gear for them now. All going well, we should do it.
We never gave up hope. Well, we're never out of it anyway. There was always only a couple of points in it. I think at most there was only 4 points in it, and we brought that back fairly quick. So, no, I think the spirit was there, and we knew coming up we weren't going to give up hope. You know.
You were switched out to left-hand forward at that position just before the winning goal. In fact, there were a lot of switches in the Kilkenny team because you lost vital players.
That's right. We lost Mickey Welch and in goal, and Liam Welch, both of them at the same time. And well, near the end we lost Michael Phelan, but it didn't upset us really. Adrian Rowan came in goal, and Eddie O'Connor came in, you know, at wing back, and they both played brilliant. So, but just before we go on, I'd like to wish the 3 lads all the best in hospital. I think Mickey Welch sort of, you know, he pushed his head where no one had put their hurl. So I'd like to wish the 3 lads the best of luck in hospital and to be back for the Leinster final.
What did you feel like when the ball hit the back of the net?
God, words wouldn't describe how I felt. I just went down on my knees, felt like crying really. But sure, I mean, that's the way it goes. Win some, lose some. But really, there was no goal on my mind at all. I got the ball and I half thought about having a shot, but then I knew there's people around me, so I had a go, and mainly to play for a free. But I got the gap and I went forward, and lucky enough I kicked it, and it could have went anywhere really, but for us it went into the net.
Well, I heard Richie Power interviewed on the radio after the game. He was full of sympathy for the Wexford men, never behind in the match until those last dramatic moments. However, given the injury problems Kilkenny had going into that match and the loss of 2 players in the opening minutes, it was certainly a tremendous display of character by Kilkenny. Well, mind you, looking at the statistics, it's nearly impossible to understand how Wexford were beaten. Now, this, perhaps, is the most telling statistic from the game. Wexford completely dominant around the middle of the field. And with that kind of an advantage, well, there was little excuse for not having the match wrapped up before DJ Carey's match-winning goal. Here's another fact to sicken a few Wexford people. Kilkenny didn't score their first point from play until 23.5 minutes into the first half, and they had to wait for nearly a half an hour of the second half before getting their first score in that period. And still, they emerged winners. And that, I think, really says it all. Well, that's the statistical analysis of the game. Let's see what our expert had to say about it. This was Jimmy Barry Murphy's assessment of an eventful game.
Jimmy, that was close.
It was indeed. It was an extraordinary result, really. What a way to lose a game, and I suppose it's a fantastic way to win a game. But I think overall, Wexford will be very disappointed when they look back on the game and the amount of chances they had during it. I think certainly a game they'll think they should have won. I think they should have.
They had a lot of wides.
They had an awful lot of the play, even in the first half, playing against the wind. They practically owned the ball. Things went against Kilkenny with the injuries to Michael Walsh and the other substitution, and it certainly seemed to knock Kilkenny out of their stride, and Wexford owned the ball. But again, this tendency they've had in the past, they can't seem to put away the chances when they're presenting themselves. And a vital turning point, I suppose, just before half-time, then Wexford had a goal disallowed by Eamon Sinnott, and Kilkenny break down the field, and after a tremendous break by DJ Carey, John Power knocked the ball into the net, and it's a big transformation. Kilkenny are going in a point down, whereas Wexford could have been leading by 4, 5 or 6 points at half-time, and that was a boost to Kilkenny because it kept them in touch.
You mentioned the injuries. What did you think of the substitutions that Ollie Walsh had to employ?
Well, it was extraordinary how good the substitutions were for Kilkenny. Michael Walsh went down very bravely and got a bad knock, but Adrian Onan was outstanding in the second half. His command of the area, he came out behind his defenders, and his clearances were first class. And Eddie O'Connor as well had an inspired game at cornerback when he came in. His spirited play and the way he brought the ball out of defence, I'm sure, helped to lift his colleagues. And it was a feature of the second half was how well the Kilkenny backs played. Bill Hennessy, Liam Simpson and Eddie O'Connor, they were all outstanding and helped to drag Kilkenny back into the game when they were generally not playing that well.
While you compliment the Kilkenny backs, what of their forwards today?
Well, I think it's fair to say the Kilkenny forwards didn't play well, apart from DJ Carey. The rest of the Kilkenny forwards didn't play that well. Maybe the ball going into them wasn't as good as what they would like, but they'd certainly be looking forward to having Christy Heffernan back for the Leinster final. His presence around the square creates a lot of options for their forwards, Eamon Morrissey and DJ Carey, and they'll certainly be hopeful that he'd be available and hoping for a big improvement all round, I think.
Wexford were celebrating the game was into injury time, but Kilkenny had another ace up their sleeve.
Well, they had indeed, It's amazing in games you see teams tend to get a chance of a goal at some stage, and Kilkenny got 2 chances of goals today and they took both of them. Wexford didn't take their chances, and they're left to rue them tonight, I think.
All right, Jimmy, let's talk now about the Telecom Éireann man of the match for this game. Who are you choosing this week?
Well, Jerry, it was a particularly hard decision today because I thought Liam Dunn for Wexford had an outstanding first half and played quite well all through. But when you look at the game overall, DJ Carey for Kilkenny created an outstanding goal just before half-time, which Kilkenny badly needed. And then right at the death, when Kilkenny looked to be dead and buried, he won a tremendous ball from broken play, race inside the defence. And in that situation, a lot of players would panic, but he held his head, and when it looked as if he might be hooked, he kicked the ball home for a tremendous goal. And as I said in the commentary, I think you can't substitute for class. He's an outstanding young player, and I think he fully deserves the Man of the Match award for today.
DJ, congratulations, well done to you.
DJ Carey, scorer of a goal and 5 points, and to all intents and purposes won this game on his own, our Telecom Éireann man of the match. Well, now, although it was generally felt that the match was not a dirty one, there was one incident which we feel should be mentioned. Now, early in the second half, John Power and Liam Dunn got into something of a scrap following a hard shoulder charge, and the ensuing confrontation was anything but savoury. Now, most curious of all, perhaps, is the fact that referee Pat Delaney chose not to book either player. We've seen far less serious transgressions this year penalised far more severely.
Hall.